This is the crew of Lieutenant Boudinot Stimson, 614th Bomb Squadron, 401st Bomb Group. They just returned from an 11-hour mission to Zorau, Pölitz on April 11, 1944. Takeoff time was 7:15 hours, and the group returned at 18:09 hours. Their lives will change 2 days later, but let's see who they are on the picture. The pilot, First Lieutenant Boudinot Stimson. The co-pilot, Second Lieutenant Robert H. Timberlake. The Bombardier, First Lieutenant Jack L. Pfaffman. The Navigator, First Lieutenant John E. O'Neill, Jr. Top Turret Gunner, Technical Sergeant Karl E. Kukurin. Radio Operator, Technical Sergeant Carman L. Mancuso. Bow Turret Gunner, Staff Sergeant Paul S. Melia. Waist Gunner, Corporal Paul J. Amos. Waist Gunner, Corporal Andrew L. Allen. And Tail Gunner, Staff Sergeant Alfred Lesage. The April 11th mission was the 21st mission of Lieutenant Stimson and his crew, and the B-17 behind is Flag Red II, aka Patches, serial number 4297440. Their next mission was 2 days later, Thursday, April 13th, 1944, and it was the 50th mission for the 401st Bomb Group. The target on that day was a ball breathing plant at Schweinfurt, Germany. One change was made to the crew. Corporal Paul J. Amos, the waist gunner, was replaced by Private John C. McQueen. Their assigned aircraft was a B-17 nicknamed What's Next, serial number 4297464. I couldn't find any pictures of the aircraft. The group took off at 10:20 hours and joined the task force, which was the 94th Combat Wing, formed by the 457th Bomb Group, which was the lead group, and the 351st Bomb Group, which was the high group. The position of the 401st Bomb Group was in the low group of the Combat Wing. The Combat Wing departed the English coast at 12:05 hours and arrived the enemy coast at 12:31 hours near Coxyde-Furnes airfield in Belgium. The heading was then straight southeast, running south of Ghent, Brussels and Liège. The Belgian-German border was crossed at a point just north of the Belgian-German-Luxembourg border, and the combat wing reached the Mosel River west of Traben-Trarbach at 13:28 hours. The formation reached their waypoint, approximately 5 miles north of Worms at 13:40 hours, and then turned to the east direction. They kept their course to the east, until a point about 20 miles south of Aschaffenburg was reached, at 13:53 hours. The formation then turned northeast, and approached the IP. The initial point was the town Gemünden, which could be easily recognized, because it was the junction point of 3 rivers and 2 railroads. Gemünden is approximately 20 miles west of the target Schweinfurt. The time was 14:08 hours. The bombs were dropped at approximately 14:14 hours. Then, the formation made a sharp turn to the left of the target area, and new heading was northwest to the town Gießen, and the town was reached at 14:39 hours. The combat wing turned to the southwest direction, until it rejoined the route in, at a point on the Mosel River, west of Traben-Trarbach at 15:07 hours. Then heading back to England in northwest direction, retracing the route in. The last aircraft of the 401st Bomb Group landed at base at 17:35 hours. The 401st Bomb Group lost 2 B-17s. The B-17 What's Next, and its crew of Lieutenant Stimson was one of them. The Missing Air Crew Report 3941 was issued, and the report says the B-17, piloted by Lieutenant Stimson and his crew, were hit and shot down by enemy aircraft at 14:05 hours. The formation was 3 minutes away from the initial point at that time. The description of the last observations reads as follows.
After fighters had attacked aircraft and left wingtip burning, pilot pulled out of formation to the right. 4 shoots, 2 immediate, 2 delayed, were definitely seen. Others had an opportunity to get out, and there is a possibility that there were more shoots. Aircraft turned back and seemed under control for about 40 seconds, then went into steep dive and blew up at 16,000 feet.
The B-17 crashed near Rohrbrunn, 28 kilometers or 17 miles southwest of Gemünden, 60 kilometers or 37 miles west-southwest of Schweinfurt. 8 men of the crew bailed out and were captured by the Germans. 2 were killed in action. The Navigator, First Lieutenant John E. O'Neill Jr., was found dead on the ground. His chute failed to open or only partially opened. Staff Sergeant Alfred Lesage saw the body of Lieutenant O'Neill, approximately 200 yards from where he landed. He further said in the questionnaire,
"As far as we know, he hit his head on bomb bay doors when he bailed out and was either killed then or failed to get his chute open in time in case he was only stunned by the blow on his head. I know his chute was open at least partially when I saw him."
Private John C. McQueen, replacement base gunner for Paul J. Amos, was killed by a 20mm shell. 20 minutes before the loss of the plane, he was killed during the first fighter attack, which occurred between 13:15 to 13:50 hours, based on the 351st Bomb Group mission report. Radio operator Technical Sergeant Carman L. Mancuso said in his questionnaire about Private McQueen,
"He was killed in the ship by a 20mm shell. When I came through the waist, Alan was trying to help him, but he was past help. He must have been killed instantly."
It was the second or third mission of John C. McQueen and his first mission with Lieutenant Stimson's crew. He was born in the United States and went to England with his parents a few years before the war. I couldn't find any pictures of him. But this picture shows Colonel Bowman, commanding officer of the 401st Bomb Group, presents the Purple Heart posthumously to his English parents. You can feel the pain in his mother's face. Pain and grief in one family. One of millions. First Lieutenant Jack Leroy Pfaffman, the Bombardier, was captured with Lieutenant Vokaty, and both were taken to the jail in Aschaffenburg. Lieutenant Vokaty was the pilot of B-17 nicknamed Command Performance, serial number 4231508, the second loss of the 401st Bomb Group that day. 2 men of Lieutenant Vokaty's crew were killed, rest were captured. Trivia: no further information found about Paul J. Amos. No records exist on 401st Bomb Group website about him. So that's it. Another video about a B-17 and crew. If you like this kind of history content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.